Hi, this is Pat Fitzgerald, the VA loan guy. Today we're going to talk about when buying property, how important it is to check if this property is in a flood zone. So, quick story about buying property and why this flood zone is so important. I'm doing a loan right now for a couple that bought 12 acres a while back. They did not know that part of this property was in a flood zone. Now they've learned about this because we have pulled a flood certificate on this, and now unfortunately this couple is going to have to pay somewhere between $100 and $200 a month for the life of this loan because the property they're going to build their house on is partially in a flood zone. So this is something that's very important if you're using a realtor to push for that information. Let that realtor work hard to get information about this property for you. Most of the time, this is listed on what's called the seller's disclosure. But sometimes the seller may not know that, and you're thinking, well, how could they not know that their property is in a flood zone? And the way that could happen is perhaps this property was inherited by the seller, or they bought it at an auction, or perhaps it was split off from another larger parcel. And sometimes, unfortunately, the seller is just downright dishonest and they don't tell you that they know about that. Once again, this is why it's important to have your own realtor so they can dig for that information. But anyway, always ask to be sure, is this property I'm buying in a flood zone? How do we prove it? Most of the time people are financing the land, so ask your lender to run what's called a flood cert. That's a certificate. They reach out electronically to FEMA. FEMA reports back that that property may be either all or partially in a flood zone. Once you have that flood certificate, it's going to have a category like A, B, C, D, E, and the lender can then hook you up with your insurance agent. The insurance agent will tell you the extent of what that flood insurance is going to cost you. This is really important for you to know before you either build on property or before you maybe buy an existing home that's partially in a flood zone. It can be very, very expensive. Once again, use your realtor to help you with this. So if it is only partially in a flood zone, you can ask a surveyor to do what's called an elevation certificate, which will show perhaps that the home site where you're going to build is not in a flood zone. So all kinds of things can be done in that regard. But at any rate, if you have any questions, please call me. I'm at 210-215-4400. It doesn't cost a penny to talk. So give me a call right now, 210-215-4400. Thanks for tuning in.